So this will be the second part, which will be for the insertion sort part of the list. For this, what we want the list to do is go through, the index, start at 0, then go to 1, 2, 3, and then it's just going to check that value and then place it in the correct position. If the value is not smaller than the previous members that we have checked before, then it will actually leave it in the same place, and it will be readjusted in further iterations of the loop. So for this, we go through the user list. Again, we just have an n equal to the length of the user list so that we can shorten this right here. So for I being the iterable element to the range of the list, and then we're just going to save this value. So there's going to be the user list at position I there. And we're actually going to shorten this variable list because we already have that current value, and then we need to check this through the loop. So running it through all the other values. So if the value is less than the user value, so the very position that we saved, then we're actually going to swap those positions. Again, we want to swap the things that are smaller and put them in the correct location. We're going to sort from smallest to largest, essentially. And then we have this so then again, we're going to swap those positions, and then we're going to make sure that this user list with the index value in there is just going to equal to the next value, because that will be the new smallest value that we need to compare to. So we run through this. If the condition is not true, then we're just going to break this loop, and it's going to go through the second part here through the for statement again. So let's check, make sure that this actually runs. Clear this out real quick, save this, run this. Okay. Oh, I completely didn't put a print statement in here. Sorry. Print user list here. Save it, run it again. And then we can check here and make sure everything's working. So we have a shuffled list 1, 8, 7, 5, 3. So even with those first values, we can start checking. So 1 and 7 are in the correct positions respectively, and then 1 and 8 are in the correct positions respectively. But when we reach this third one, we see that 7 is actually less than 8, so we're going to swap that in the next line. We see that yes, it worked. When we go through the other lines here, we see that 5 is actually smaller than this new position, which would be 7 and 8 right here. So 5 is going to swap, and we see the expected result there in this first line. We get 7 and 8 swapping. In the second line, we get the 5 and the 8 swapping. Again, we are going to continue through this list until every member is in the correct position. Here at the very last line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So our line was good here for the insertion sort.